My name is Serena Sebring. I'm really pleased to be here. I've been a member of SONG for about 6 years now. Emily is my partner, as she said, and together we raised 3 children who were dramatically affected by this amendment's passage. I just recently finished up my graduate work and am looking for a job, and unfortunately cannot rely on same-sex partner benefits in the meantime to cover health insurance. So that is the direct cost of this amendment on our family. I wanted to share that with you. It is my pleasure to tell you a little bit about SONG's experiences in working with the media through this campaign. As LGBTQ people, we have particular challenges in working with media often. One of the ways that shows up is that the mainstream media and oftentimes the general population has an image of queer people, that we are urban, certainly, we are white, we are male, we are wealthy, and that is not my story, that is not my partner's story, and that is not our community's story. We are much more diverse, have much more intersectional identities than that. So SONG's work really focused on making our lives visible, and that's something I'm very proud to speak about. It focused on, as Jade said, people of color, putting our voices out there, and this was not always an easy thing to do. We had challenges from the mainstream media itself, who often didn't want to see families like ours, didn't seek out our stories, and at some points even refused to speak with us in favor of speaking with people who better fit the stereotype that people were already used to seeing. This was a very frustrating experience for people like Emily and I. However, a much more heartbreaking experience, I feel, is the erasure and invisibility of rural queers in this state. We're talking about people who oftentimes aren't able to have the privilege to come out in the ways that Emily and I have. People who live lives in the closet, people who live in isolation, in communities where they know they face extreme homophobia and silencing. And so one of the things that we know as oppressed people, as Audre Lorde has told us, is that it is better to speak, knowing we were never meant to survive. It is better to speak. And so we did. We spoke. We kept speaking until they listened. And they did listen in some surprising ways. Barb and Ange, as Jade was just sharing with you their story, they actually went to the county courthouse and applied for a marriage license as part of a series of direct actions. They were, of course, denied. So there's a loss. However, the win is that their small town paper, which never covers LGBTQ issues, featured a picture of them doing this on the front page of their paper above the fold. And this was a huge victory to other people in their community who just don't usually have an opportunity to see images of themselves and to be celebrated in their own identities and in their own families. So that's one win. Another win is that one of our organizers, by the name of Holly, wrote a beautiful letter to the editor, also in Randolph County, was it? In Statesville, sorry, which was published. And this was a moment for her of coming out. And as a result of that, some of her high school teachers contacted her family, spoke about how proud they were. It was a moment where coming out reaped rich rewards. And that is when we are visible, we are not as alone. And a final story I want to share with you is that of a protest that some of us attended in Catawba County just a couple of months ago. And I'm not sure if people are familiar with the story, but there was a minister by the name of Pastor Worley, who leads a Baptist church out there, who gave a sermon in which he called for the containment of all queer people in cages and in a very concentration camp type of way. And this was on Mother's Day, and the church was so proud of it, they put it out on their YouTube series. And thankfully, I credit the experience of rural queers for putting this out there. They were not silent. They shared it with the world, and the world responded. Anderson Cooper came to town. And we in Durham, who I certainly didn't know anybody in Catawba County before that, wound up out there among thousands of people in a beautiful protest on a beautiful day, holding signs celebrating love as a victory and saying that this is not North Carolina, this does not represent our people. So it was just a real opportunity created by a media that doesn't always want to show our faces, but when they do, we win. I'm very proud to share that with you. And I'd just like to announce or to introduce our video that we'll share. Our organization's song put together a short video which speaks about our work around the amendment. And I think they're getting it ready for you. But thank you so much for letting me tell my story.